What's up, y'all? Here to clip farm again, or not clip farm, view farm off of Candace Owens. One, because we grinded, and two, because I'm actually interested in this. The video of this one is she's questioning who moved the camera right above Charlie's head. I haven't seen this at all. I'm just going to guess. Jew. First, let me get this lighting right. I know nobody cares if you see my face, but I care if I see my face, so fuck you. Fuck you. Oop. Follow me now. There we are. Here we go.
He moves Charlie's chair. That's a crime scene. That's not good. And he moves it because he wants to stand on it as he takes down the cameras, or the camera rather, that is just above Charlie's head. That's the camera that I'm talking about on the right-hand side. That's a camera that I'm referring to, and we are going to now.
How unsurprising. They take all the footage, all the evidence before us common folk can take a look. But let's take a look at her taking a look.
I'll take a look at him.
It's a glitch in the Matrix.
And he is also the individual, as many of you pointed out, that was near Charlie or just before the assassination. But let's check out that footage of him in the immediate aftermath, kind of switching around the cameras, the two of them. Take a look.
Ready to start eating healthier?
Oh, you fucking
Meet
bitch.
Kachava.
I don't care about
Kachava is the world's...
Not fireworks. This area. Coming forward off this up.
Just fucking with evidence, fucking with the crime
Safety team is here.
scene.
I just heard them say active
all
shooter Charlie
over
Kirk's
it.
been shot. Charlie Kirk got hit, is what the security detail just said.
Why is he allowed in there? We all know, but whatever. We have to act like we don't know, even though we know. Or else we'll lose our job.
Don't worry, guys. We're going to get closer. This is just a wide shot so you can see what's going on here, and then we'll get a bit closer. I know you guys have pulled apart this footage a million ways, and thank you for that. And here's the closer version of that. You can see, slowed down here, he pulls out the chair, he stands on it, and yes, that would be a big no-no for a crime scene. You don't move anything.
Niggas,
He
please.
takes down the camera that is directly above where Charlie was sitting and would be able to provide, therefore, a lot of insight. And then you can see he kind of sits the camera onto the desk, and it looks like he removes the SIM card from it, or the SD card, if you will, which we're
Look
watching
how,
right here.
could you look any more suspicious looking taking something out? He's got to be a Jew. He's looking pretty Jewy right there. Oh.
So I'm going when I saw this footage, who is that? Like, actually, I should be able to figure this out because I've got a pretty big network at Turning Point USA. The person's wearing shades. I'm not recognizing the individual. And I reach out to somebody on the inside.
He's looking hella suspicious. Very Jewy. All he has to do is put his hands together, and he's literally doing the Jew meme. No one will ever see this. Reporting back to you, Netanyahu.
And I'm just like, who's this person? And they tell me the person's name. And I go, oh, wait a second. And I look again. I'm like, I know this person because it's been a few years, but I know this person. This person's been around Turning Point for quite some time, for years. Like I said, back when I was working at Turning Point, early days. So I'm like, I'm just going to reach out. Obviously, I know this individual. I'm going to reach out and I'm going to say, hey, what's up with this? Where is this footage? Why did you do this? What were you doing up there on the rocks? What's up? Like, this is not the
And also, why are you built like that? You're a man. Look at that build. Look at that skinny, fat, freaking big hip woman looking build that he's got with the receding hairline. You're pathetic. You're pathetic. You're doing pathetic things with the pathetic body. Son of a bitch.
first thing that I would do if I had just witnessed Charlie Kirk being shot. And I'll say this right now, he was extremely forthcoming. Like, as soon as I reached out, I just sent a text because I still had his number, and he was extremely forthcoming, immediately got onto the phone. And first and foremost, I should say, obviously, he's seeing all of these clips going viral, and he is fearful for his family. Doesn't have any security, and people are looking, and he said, look, as you can see in the footage, I was sitting right to the left or to the left of Charlie when Charlie got
to the left, everything you own in the box to the left. Sorry.
shot. And I instantly knew that he was not going to be okay. I instantly knew that he was dead. And I then, like, as you can see, people that are running, anybody that was in that zone, ran to the back, and he caught his breath. He wanted to check in with and communicate to other people that were working with and around Turning Point USA. That's why he's on his phone, communicating to them what had happened. That's what he told me. Then I asked, okay, well, what about this camera thing? Why would you grab the cameras? And he says, because the first thing that I thought is that I better secure the footage and be helpful and hand that footage over to the feds. Well, obviously, that's where things get into a pickle with me.
Why
we don't
would
trust the feds.
you hand it to the feds? He's a Jew boy. There's no fucking way.
Right? I'm like, no, we don't trust the feds. So we don't got to do that. Just let me have the footage. I'm like, just send me the footage. Please let me look at it. There's a lot of conspiracies that are floating around right now. People don't know what to believe. People are doing what I would say, credible videos. People that certainly have the credibility are ballistics experts that are saying that what we see in the front is an exit wound, not an entry wound. I don't know one way or the other because I'm not an expert. I'm getting inundated with messages from people that hunt, people that are in the military, saying that this had to have come from another direction. This footage could help. As if nothing else, let me help you. Let me formally debunk that by seeing this footage. Like, could you send this footage over to me? Well, he didn't want to send the footage over to me without checking with Turning Point lawyers. I said, look, technically, you own the footage. Like, you and some other people own the footage. Like, let me just see the footage, because why go through lawyers? Like, I just want to see the footage. And also, I asked the question, why not just release it? We've already seen the worst thing that you could possibly see from the front, right? Like, the front is what is the traumatizing video. And I understand that he wants to afford his wife some protection. Like, this has, to experience that, Erica, so many people.
Bullshit. He's making excuses, dude. This guy's working with Israel, brother. Working with Israel, dude. He's making all these bullshit excuses, dude.
Watching the love of your life in the last second of their life, it's traumatizing. I'm traumatized by it, right? That's not my husband and the father of my children. And so out of a loyalty to Erica, he also doesn't want to give more footage to the internet. But I said, look, I'm not going to publish it. I just want to see it. And I think you should let me see that, because people trust me. They know that I'm very serious about this. I don't care about anything right now other than figuring out.
I'm a sassy black woman. And I don't take no shit.
Who killed Charlie Kirk? So in the short run, he agrees that rather than send the footage, he will get onto a FaceTime call with me, and he will show me the footage on his computer. He did that, and I watched the footage, and I'm going to tell you what I saw. And to the people specifically, the people that are in the military, people that know weapons, I'm telling you this because you might be able to add more color or more clarity here. What you would expect to see if given the weapon that they have said did this, the bullet they have said did this. I don't know anything about any of this, so I'm just telling you what I saw. Okay. First and foremost, there is nothing gory about this shot at all. And so again, I am still going to work with him to get me the footage so that I think it should be shared. There's nothing gory about this footage from the back. The thing that really stood out to me, and I just kept asking him to replay it over and over and over again, is that there's no blood. There's no blood from the back. There is no blood. So I think a lot of people were wondering whether or not that bullet pierced and went out the back. I think I vaguely even remember, and Skylar, you can maybe live look this up, but like I thought the feds were saying they were looking for a bullet at some point, which is now very alarming to me. I don't understand that. How could they have been looking for a bullet? Because if I'm not seeing, and there isn't, I'm telling you, what happens in the front is not what happens in the back at all. If I'm not seeing any blood, what are we to take from that?
Bro, the
Video
front was
Luke, what's going on
wild.
over there?
I'm doing the work. I'm doing everything.
The only thing that
Dude, they hit him in the most optimal fucking spot for death. Is what I saw from the front. Dude was gushing like a fountain. Right in the carotid artery, right in the jugular vein. 2 for 1 special. Now, if you're like me, I'm 30 years old. I grew up with a uncensored internet. This is not the first death I've seen. I've seen many deaths, and I think there are a lot of guys and girls just like me who've seen a lot of beheadings, a lot of bombings, a lot of mass killings, a lot of fucking stomping of heads, just a lot of gruesome violence. And I think the only reason this shook the world so much was because it happened on American soil to a Christian conservative. That is the majority of what America is. Now, I wouldn't say conservatives, but American Christians. It was an attack on the average American, and I think that's what was so jarring about it. TBH.
could make sense if what they're saying is true and that person took the shot from the place that they are saying that individual took the shot from, it would suggest that it was inside of Charlie, right? And they would know that. The feds.
Of course it was inside Charlie. When he went like this, when he went like that, that was an indication that that bullet lodged into his fucking spine. It hit him right in the spine. Immediate paralysis. If he would have survived, he would have been a fucking veggie. And yeah, I think that wasn't an exit wound. That was an enter wound. The whole, like, through the chest, up that way. It makes no sense because they would have found a bullet, or maybe they took the bullet, but I think that was an entry wound. It hit that artery, the artery went, and that shit was lodged into his, where did it hit him? Lodged into his neck / upper back spine. I'm not a doctor, so that's just what it looked like to me.
Would have known that. So they would have communicated that they were never looking for a bullet. Because remember, one shot. So I'm very confused. I'm very confused, not by what I saw, but what I didn't see. Okay? That's pretty much all I can tell you right now. And I am going to try to get all of the footage. And I understand that right now he is very fearful. But I am going to continue to try to privately push him to just release it.
I we all gonna die anyways.
That transparency is the only way. I'm much more, I think all of us would agree, have much more trust in the people than I do in the feds. The feds are lying about everything, so they should not be the only people that have access to this. And I understand not wanting to have that relived from another angle, but given the fact that there is no gore and there is no blood from this angle, I don't see why not. And so that's what I wanted to share with you guys. I know some of you guys were insinuating. I got a lot of emails that it could have been a flechette. I had to look that up. I don't even know what that is. I was like, guys, I don't know anything. Flechette shells, that something could have been a lot closer that hit him and that everything else could have been a distraction. Well,
That's for poor people, all right? We hit each other with high-tech stuff over here in America. Thank you very much. He's more likely to be hit with a goddamn laser than that bullshit poor people, brown people stuff that they do over in Israel and Palestine, okay?
can tell you is that there's no blood. That's it. There is no blood in that video. So give me your thoughts on that. Now I want to get to another tip that I received that is pretty interesting because, look, as you guys know, when I began investigating this assassination, at no point did I ever speculate that any other country was involved. I never speculated that Israelis were involved. So it was surprising, to say the least, that they're simply pretending that I did, pretending that I blamed Israel, pretending that I said Bibi Netanyahu killed Charlie Kirk. It is now, like I said yesterday, it feels like they are trying to get ahead of something, like they know more than we know. I don't know why you would say something or accuse somebody of saying something that they didn't. I do believe that there is very clearly, we all believe, there's very clearly a government level conspiracy that is involved. Okay, there's no other way to assess those disastrous text messages. Absolute disaster of a Fed operation with those messages. Yesterday, I pretty casually mentioned to you guys something, that the doorbell cam footage, which TMZ happened upon somehow, was from a street.
TMZ is obviously controlled by Zionist Jews as well. Go look up the guy who's the head of TMZ. He's quite literally a gay Jew. Oh, sorry, gay Zionist. Which is the same reason why Hollywood's gay as hell, the government's gay as hell. Israel's also gay as hell, because they're all gay as hell, because it's a satanic, weird, gay bullshit going on. See my face? I'm grossed out by it, but Satan basically wants everybody to be a gay tranny. That's why they're pushing. It goes deeper than just population control. He wants to cement God's image. God's image is man, woman, straight, penis, vagina, child, family. Okay? Gay Jews. It all goes back to the gay Jews.
Upon which a ton of employees that work for Caldera Engineering live. We showed you, I think, one or two of those employees, the husband and wife I had mentioned, worked for Caldera Engineering, and it is a country that purports to manufacture valves. And I said this, I said, I know nothing about the valve industry. All I know is that every time I start investigating a government conspiracy or looking into people that are really shady, like Harley Pasternak, thus far 3 people who I've investigated who oddly, either them or their families had backgrounds working in this very niche valve and piping industry, like manufacturers of valves and pipes. I'm like, is everybody doing that? This is very strange. Well, many of you emailed me something that was quite surprising. Maybe I'm just ignorant, but they let me know this is a very niche industry. And by niche, I mean that you asserted that it implies major government contracts, likely the CIA. Those of you who have worked at those industries telling me that there are even certain valves that are exclusively manufactured in Israel, and that they tend to be involved in this. The government and the military tend to be involved in this. And that even, by the way, on Caldera's website, they noted that they have worked in Israel. They have a map that they note every country that they have done engineering projects in, and one of them or 2 dots are in Israel. And somebody explained why the government gets involved when it comes to valves and piping. And I'm just going to read you this email because maybe there are people at home who are just as ignorant as I am about government level engineering. Okay. This person wrote, "Hi, Candace. I wanted to share some detailed information regarding valves, piping, and their relevance to critical infrastructure and intelligence communities. Valves as critical infrastructure assets. Modern industrial valves are used in pipelines, water treatment plants, power plants, and chemical facilities, are often automated and networked, forming part of operational technology and SCADA systems. This allows remote monitoring and control of the flow of gas, oil, water, and chemicals. Cybersecurity implications. These valves are part of systems that could be targeted for cyber attacks. Compromised valves can cause pipeline ruptures, water contamination, or industrial accidents. Because of this, intelligence and regulatory agencies, the CISA, NSA,
Hey, stop playing with your fanny pack. You need the bearskin tactical hoodie.
PHMSA, FERC monitor valve networks and may maintain trusted relationships with manufacturers and engineers to ensure security and resilience. Integration with above ground systems. Modern valve networks can also integrate with cameras, sensors, alarms, and environmental monitoring. This means that an operator could simultaneously monitor flow, view live video, and respond to alarms, which enhances both security and operational oversight. And strategic value for intelligence communities. Knowledge of valve locations, models, and control systems provide insight into critical infrastructure vulnerabilities. Access to or relationships with manufacturers allows agencies to monitor, assess, and secure supply chains. Remote monitoring of valves and integrated systems can support emergency response simulations and national security exercises. And then they provide us with the real-world context by writing, companies like Caldera Engineering in Provo, Utah, manufacture specialized industrial valves and control systems. While no public evidence currently links them to intelligence contracts, their products could theoretically be part of OT systems monitored by government agencies due to the critical nature of the infrastructure that they serve. In short, valves themselves are simple mechanical devices, but when networked and embedded in critical infrastructure, they become strategically important for monitoring security and intelligence purposes. That just sounds right to me. That, I mean, I'm telling you, every story, I'm like, what is this person? It's like their family's in valve. Like, I mean, I don't know anybody whose family did this. I don't know. Again, like, this is the kind of stuff that, like, we don't know, but we know. And that hit. And I feel like there is a bigger piece of this that involves Caldera. And like I said, I perceive a government conspiracy. You'd be a fool not to see a government conspiracy here, especially with the way that I am being attacked for simply trying to investigate this. And the attacks are growing frantic. It's almost as if they all received an email from somebody who said, I don't care what you say, make it up out of thin air, and do not stop attacking Candace Owens. That is the loudest. It's like an alarm went off. And everyone, people that I thought I was friends with, are coming after me with obscene lies that are just so easily fact-checked. So easily, you can debunk them in 4 seconds on the internet, and they're delivering it as though it's honest. We're going to talk about that. I was even surprised PBD. I mean, I've always been friendly with him. I've always been kind to him. I have nothing wrong to him. And he seems to be kind of, he's the one who platformed without any pushback, Eric Bolling. And I have an idea about why all of that may be. I'll tell you in just a second. First, I want to remind you guys about GNO land, because what if smart contract platforms were not controlled by the elites or big tech? What if they were built by real builders, you know, the people? That's the question that GNO land asked, and that's why they built a clinic in your own home. I have a contagion emergency kit from the wellness company because I refuse to be Get it now before cold and flu season kicks in.
I don't give a shit. God is on my side. I don't need no fucking bullshit.
Kits are available to U.S. residents only. Okay. All right. So let's get into how weird these headlines are getting. It's very strange. And I think we know why it's happening. We obviously know why it's happening. But even the publications that are usually not so blatant, because in order to be a propagandist, you want to be effective, right? You got to like lie a little and get people to believe you, not just do things that are just so nakedly deceptive that people go, okay, why am I even reading this publication? Well, the Daily Mail put out this headline about me. I can't even like this. Look at this journalist, Victoria Churchill, who reached out. She writes, Candace Owens rages after being snubbed from the Charlie Kirk Memorial.
It'd be funny if he just said, Candace Owens is a dirty monkey. You don't like her.
Speaking roster. When did this happen? Like, the lying here is actually making me uncomfortable. I told you yesterday that we received way too many emails about Charlie's memorial. All of them were asking specifically for me to confirm that I was going. Didn't feel good to me. It felt very inauthentic. I know these journalists are not my friends. I knew they were writing hit pieces, but all of them included that question. Are you going? Are you going to go? Like, you want me to confirm my attendance so that you know where I'm going to be ahead of time? Am I being paranoid? Or does that seem like a little weird? Even on PBD's show, where he just gives a platform to a guest to completely lie for 2 minutes straight, there is this random second where PBD rather oddly says something along the lines of, you don't think she's going to the funeral? Like, they keep talking about this. Take a listen again.
At some point, her credibility, is going to go down the tubes because she needs to bring receipts. Bill Ackman brought receipts. How long was that tweet?
It's still going. I think
He was there
Ron's
in the
still reading
room.
it.
Andrew Colbert was there in the room. You're on the board of Turning Point?
Yeah.
Okay. When's the last time you saw Candace Owens?
In person?
Yeah.
2015,
Oh, wow.
2016.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No,
When's the last time she was at a Turning Point event?
Not in many years.
Okay.
But
so let's
here, you don't
without
even have to do
even
this,
being
Adam.
biased.
Look at these guys. They're all Jews. All these Jew boys.
No question proof that Candace Owens has nothing to do. She would be in a perfect world if they didn't have this. What I already know was a very quiet breakup where she got too rabbit hole for him. She would be the logical heir to the TPUSA throne, but she's
And
not.
now she's not even
she's-
invited.
Correct. So this is
So,
their divide is.
Wait a minute, not invited, meaning
She's not even there.
Yeah, she's not.
She's
She's
not
not
there.
one of the names that I.
Wait, you don't think she'll be at the funeral?
No. I
That's
mean,
not the
heir,
funeral.
The heir to
I'm
the
saying
okay.
TPUSA throne.
She doesn't speak at the events anymore.
I mean,
Okay, so first and foremost, why did they all want to know if I was going to this event? I said there is no way we are going to this event now. There's a 0% chance. First and foremost, why are you saying invite? Anybody can go to it. You just buy a ticket to the event, and you're all working to try to get me to confirm that I'm going. And you're doing this as if you're trying to like push my buttons and be like, we got to make her get into her ego so she like shows up and like posts it on social media. Nope, actually. While I'm attacking the feds, maybe not going to a public event, which the feds are organizing, is probably a very good idea. I'm good. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna listen to Power on my headphones and go see Ye. How's that for a memorial for Charlie Kirk? That feels like the right thing for me to do right now. I'm not going to this memorial because it's strange. To lie like this is very strange. For context, just so you can realize how odd this is, I spoke at Turning Point's conference, 2 conferences last year. It's so easily, like I said, debunkable that you have to ask yourself why they are saying it. Here is me speaking on USA stage last year. And here's what I said, by the way, which got Charlie in a lot of trouble.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Oh. Oh my God. Holy crap. Oh my goodness.
Stop trying to sell me things.
It's kind of,
Well, let me tell you something, America. It does feel so good to go everywhere in the world and to realize that there is awakening, not just happening here. Let me tell you guys, it's happening all across the globe. People are starting to ask the hard questions. And you start getting close when they
look
start
like a
to call
Jedi
you
with that
names.
robe.
They instantly want to suggest that there's something wrong and there's something backwards about being America first. You're starting to hear the way they're framing that now. When you say you're America first, they'll ask you, what do you mean you're America first? Do you mean that you're an isolationist? Do you believe that we shouldn't have did what we did during World War II? All of these things trying to pollute it. It's not that difficult. America first. First name America, last name first. We put this country's interests before the interests of foreign countries overseas. All of them.
AKA Israel.
Yeah, it kind of went on and on, but it was kind of me saying, especially since 3 months earlier, I had gotten fired from the Daily Wire, like, Israel, you're not special. And yeah, Charlie got in trouble for the stuff that I said on stage, and then they came inward. I told that I was not allowed to speak at AmFest. The donors were making threats, but like I went on tour with Turning Point last year. It's still on their website. It's so, this is like the strangest thing. We could pull up this website, Live Free Tour, Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens. Quiet breakup. Why are we doing this? It's very strange. Here's all the places that we went to last year. Now they are pushing these headlines that are so far beyond the realm of reality, like the one that I just showed you, where they say that I'm angry. And then when you look into who's writing these articles, like Victoria Churchill, you note that she has a connection to AIPAC. So AIPAC is pushing this, right? The answer is implied by the people who are attacking me. They are all ultra-Zionists, right? Like I said, the author of that article is an ultra-Zionist. And here she is, starting off 2018 in DC, and she's got a picture of herself. If you can scroll down, I don't know if you can see this, like sitting in the audience in AIPAC, and she's thrilled. America, Israel. It's like all of these people are agents for a foreign country. And I feel like Bibi Netanyahu is spending a lot of money right now. He is just way too involved, concerned about Turning Point USA, the future of Turning Point USA, attacking Candace Owens. And I think something sinister is going on here. How can you not see that? I also want to say this. I have had a flood of Turning Point employees reach out to me, maybe because he says she would have been the natural heir to Turning Point USA. I'm not trying to be the heir to Turning Point USA. I kind of like my life. I don't want to take money from donors, okay? Because they do what they did to Charlie. They're not donating money to charity because they view it as a charity. They're doing it because they want to purchase your voice. That's it. And I don't want to give mine up. But what these people are telling me is a very dark story that involves these donors, sponsors, influencers, a takeover of sorts that I think was happening right under Charlie's nose. And I want to say this formally as we keep investigating this. I believe that Charlie Kirk was betrayed by people who are close to him. Based on what I have seen thus far, the evidence, the quote-unquote receipts that require a investigation into the apparatus, the financial apparatus at Turning Point, there was definitely some weird activity leading up to this moment happening at the organization, and I've been able to verify it. I have been given names, and I intend to now embark on this lengthier investigation, which I need more help on. I've reached out to some journalists, and I'm sharing the information with them, and I think we're going to discover that this was ugly, uglier than we could have ever imagined, okay? There is a fear here that we are all perceiving, a desperation almost to end the investigation. The smears are becoming radical. You can't just pretend Candace hasn't spoken to Charlie Kirk in years, but they're doing it. And they're trying to be convincing and shocked and putting this out. I've never stopped talking to Charlie. I mean, yesterday I released just one of many messages that I have with Charlie.
Sarah Milgram and Yaren Lishninsky, Jew, were two beautiful young people with their whole lives ahead of them. Their murder was senseless, evil, and horrifying, and the man who did it should be punished to the maximum extent possible. Oh, that was the girl stabbed in the neck. Sorry. Ukrainian Jew, who cares, you know? But I push back against one thing. Great tweet. Good tweet. Good tweet. Speech censorship is coming to America. It's already here. It's been here.
Which prove that he was, in the months leading up to that.
It's here so much, I can't even post on TikTok without my shit being taken down. I can't post on TikTok. Can't post on Instagram. I can't post on here. If I had a big enough audience, the stuff I'm posting would be taken down. I'm gonna end up on Rumble. And even then.
Concerned about Israel and how Israel was coming after our free speech. Free speech meant a lot to him, right? This message is from May. We can pull that back up, right? Charlie sent me his tweet because after the assassination of Sarah Milgram and Yaron Lachinsky in DC, people were calling for like hate speech laws. And Charlie, authored a long tweet saying these were beautiful people. They had their lives ahead of them. But I must push back against one thing. And again, it was just the justification that this somehow meant that we had to,
Man who distributes it. To push back against one thing, all over X, I see claims that some people have blood on their hands simply because they've made tweets about attacking Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israel government, or the war in Gaza. No. I just came back from the UK every day. 30 people are arrested for social media posts the government says are dangerous or offensive because they oppose things like mass migration or Islam. In the UK, people are arrested for silently praying or holding signs. We gotta fight for that, but honestly, what I think is going to happen, sadly, is it's going to end up here. We are no different than any other part of the world. We are under the guise of the Zionists, and our only savior is Jesus Christ. It's the return of God, the coming of Armageddon. See, Israel, the Jews are the chosen people, not because they're holy and they're special and they're this and they're that. What makes them special is they're meant to bring about the end of days. They're meant to bring about Armageddon. When all the holes in the earth open up and the titans come back, and all the volcanoes go off at once, and all the earthquakes happen and tsunamis hit, and the dollar doesn't work anymore, and the government truly abandons you, that is their purpose. Sadly.
Get rid of free speech, like suddenly like, oh, well, this happened, so now we need to say free speech is wrong. And so I wrote back to him and I said, great tweet. And he gave prayer hands. And I said, speech censorship is coming to America. And he wrote back, as you can see, and the date here is May 22nd of this year. It totally is. Okay? Me and Megan and Tucker are not lying to you. Charlie was concerned about the speech, that he felt the restrictions. And inevitably, this happens when you get into bed with Israel. You can't criticize them at all, as Megan said, before you start enduring threats. And what I have learned from the employees there is that back in May, Turning Point had some big changes, some odd changes, as they are describing it to me. Certain departments, people that were being fired, people that were told that they had to keep certain things a secret. Secret from whom? Secret from whom? Something is not right. Nothing we are being told is true. And the strangest thing is that Pam Bondi, who is a complete loser and a tool, is trying to use the assassination of Charlie Kirk to lay the groundwork for hate speech laws in America. The very thing that Charlie was fighting against. They all just got right to work trying to pass laws. Well, Charlie Kirk is that, so now we got to hate speech is something. Exactly what he's messaging me about that he doesn't want to happen. They're trying to use his death to justify. Listen to what Pam Bondi said to Katie Miller on her podcast. Take a listen.
So, Ridge is already really good at the wallet and all the everyday
Shut
stuff,
up!
but I was surprised
Stop
with
trying to
how
sell me,
much
you
they were
fucking
able
black
to do with
nerd.
There's free speech and then there's hate speech.
No.
And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie, in our society.
Do you see more law?
This is also a problem. Why are there two women talking about issues? Women shouldn't speak on any governmental issues at all. They are stupid. Their emotions make them stupid. We all know this at this point. Okay? If the powers that be had their options, they'd want every single politician to be a Manila bitch just like that, because they're the easiest ones to manipulate. Simple as that. Let's keep it going.
enforcement going after these groups who are using hate speech and putting cuffs on people, so we show them that some action is better than no action.
We will absolutely target you, go after you if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything, and that's across the aisle.
So to be clear, that's the feds telling you that they want to pass speech laws, which will basically just give them the full power to go after you for wrongthink, okay? And they're doing it in the most disturbing way ever by going after Charlie Kirk's legacy and using his assassination to say, oh, well, now we've got to get hate speech done, which, by the way, who was the person and the leader who said that he was passing laws against speech in America? That was Bibi Netanyahu, okay? Years ago, on record, saying that he was working with the government of America, and any person that criticized Israel would find themselves on the wrong side of the law, okay? You can find that clip of him saying that. And now what's happening? Well, we have an occupied administration. There's no question. Trump is occupied by Zionists, okay? He's completely impotent. He's completely powerless. He cannot say anything that goes against Israel or Bibi Netanyahu. He's letting them do whatever they want. No pushback whatsoever. It's very clear Bibi is in control, and his administration is saying that. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. But this was the plan, okay? This was the plan. And we have to stand up to this, guys. We have to fight this tooth and nail. The reason they're doing this, obviously, is because they can't win in the free markets. People are, as Megan said, people that are under 30 are anti-Israel. So that means the future of America is anti-Israel. So what they're going to try to do is to pass speech laws. Bolshevik speech laws. They're going to arrest us for saying that we don't support Israel. Something that Charlie was passionately against, okay? And we can show you next week clips of him.
Look, as smart as she is, she's like any other girl with the freaking microplastic fucking Yeti cup. Look at her. But she's got her cute little electrolytes in there.
Hosting the debate about speech and Israel and whether or not everything was anti-Semitism. And he was very clear in his perception that this is going to increase anti-Semitism, trying to pass speech laws or labeling people anti-Semites by criticizing Bibi Netanyahu. It's all out there, and they're lying to you. Am I wrong am I cynical for believing that, yeah, the feds are obviously lying, and I would say at some level, in a very big way, were involved in the death of Charlie because they wanted this sort of radical way to push through laws. When something chaotic happens, we usually turn to the government. I mean, 9/11, what did we do? We gave them so much power, right? The Patriot Act.
9/11, 9/11, 9/11, 9/11. Rest in peace, Toby Keith. Well, I think about 9/11.
Do whatever, just keep me safe. It's like they see your emotion, they see this global emotion, and they want you to just agree with them that the next step is more power for the government. And this time we're saying no. No, Pam Bondi. No, thank you. Genuinely, why are you in office? How can this administration pretend that they are the same administration that they were in 2016 that were fighting against this? The same administration that was going, oh, well, the George Floyd death, radical Dems, BLM, speech laws. It was wrong when the left did it. And it's wrong now that the right is doing it, which leads me to believe that we are fighting opposite sides of the same coin. It's us versus them. The elites versus the rest of us. That's it. Everything else is a mirage. And speaking of free speech, I want to speak about Jimmy Kimmel because he has been pulled off air indefinitely over his comments in the aftermath of Charlie's assassination. So let's take a listen to what Jimmy Kimmel said on his show.
We had some new I already made a video about that. God damn it. Damn it. See, I got my hand on the pulse. I got it on the pulse. God. Whatever.
Over the weekend with the
go check out my other video.
The MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points.
He was a literal leftist with a tranny. I said that in the other video too. With a literal tranny boyfriend. And he looked gay as hell too. So not surprising there. Gay Jews.
from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish.
Okay, so that's what he said. Whether or not you think it was a insensitive joke, okay, I don't think that would have been the justification for saying that he now needs to donate to charity and lose his whole life. And this is what happened. He's taken off air, and some people are saying, hey, Candace, they did this to us, and you're not wrong, right? If you are on the right and you are saying that when the whole George Floyd thing happened, people lost their jobs for saying sensible things or making a joke, you are correct. Like, you are right to say, yes, that absolutely did happen. But if you're not recognizing that when you just flip the coin, it's the same people that are gaining more power, I just want the attacks on free speech to stop, okay? I want the reaction, if you're angry about what Jimmy Kimmel said, is for the free markets to take him out, right? He doesn't have a show because nobody's watching him anymore because they're so disgusted by what he said. That's what I want. I want us to be in control, right, of where we spend our dollars, of what we're saying, and not like the government to press a button and say, you lose everything because we don't like what you said. And it should be noted, by the way, that in the same monologue, he did call the murder senseless. The day that it happened, Jimmy Kimmel posted a message on Instagram sending love to the Kirk family, to the victims of gun violence. He posted, you know, instead of the angry finger pointing, can we just for one day agree that it's
Can't believe they canceled Kimmel.
that it's horrible and monstrous to shoot another person. On behalf of my family, we send love to the Kirks and to all the children, parents, and innocents who fall victim to senseless gun violence. You wouldn't have thought that he had posted that in terms of everyone that were just like strip him of everything. And I want to be clear, I don't like Jimmy Kimmel, right? I think he is a part of the radical left.
He's a
People that are
weenie.
constantly shouting, I don't like him at all. But I'm just recognizing that our solution to being angry at each other always seems to be, let's give the government more power, right? Let's give the government more power. And that's what happened here, okay? The chairman of the Federal Communications Commission, Brendan Carr, jumped up and he criticized Jimmy Kimmel's remarks. He threatened federal action against ABC affiliates who carried the show. What? Federal action if you carry the Jimmy Kimmel show? Does that seem right to you? Okay, again, if you're on the right and you cheered this on, do you understand? We never, ever, ever should be applauding federal action when it comes to speech. Okay, we're all losing. We are all losing. You have to wake up. That's what happened. Brendan Carr of the FCC was joining Benny Johnson, and that's what he said, that he absolutely.
I said this to my friends and family, and about 80% of them were disagreed with me that we shouldn't get people fired, ban people, arrest people for words. For words. You can say whatever you want. That's how it should be. As long as it doesn't cross over into the physical. As long as there's no physical violence. As long as there's no literal physical violence, it shouldn't matter. Simple as that.
He wants to make sure that people are not carrying this show anymore, and that after, you know, one of the mergers that they did, I just see the same people are constantly being empowered. And I want to point that out to you because you have to be more conscious of that. It's like they use our emotions, left versus right, to manipulate all of us. And it's completely wrong. And it's completely crazy. And they're also calling for him to make a meaningful personal donation to the Kirk family and Turning Point USA. What? That's a shakedown. That's what they did to Kyrie Irving. I don't like what you said. Donate to the Holocaust Museum. What?
Have you ever wanted to see your home from space? With this free
No,
satellite Earth
space
Maps
is
tool,
fake.
you can zoom right
Shut the
down to
fuck
your
up.
I can't cheer this on, guys. I'm sorry. I can't cheer this on because I don't like it. I know for a fact, as I just showed you, that this was Charlie's fear. The government coming in on speech. That's what's happening right now. They're taking over our speech under the guise of fighting hate. TikTok, by the way. Did you guys see this? Israel's pretty much taking over TikTok. There's no other way to say it. Mark Andreessen in on a deal with, I think it's a Silver Capital. What is it? Not Silver Lake. They're all coming together, and we knew this was going to happen. This whole fake canceled TikTok. No, TikTok was going pro-Palestine, and a bunch of hedge fund people who are pro-Israel got involved. Trump pretended that he was going to rescue speech. No, he's handing it over to Israel. Okay, wake up. If you're a Trump supporter, wake up. Okay, he has handed so much over to Israel, and he's about to hand over the keys to our speech. All that aside, I do want to shout out to all the creators that are making me laugh. Let's use our speech while we're still allowed to have it. And you also have to remember, Charlie wanted us to be happy warriors. So while we are fighting for truth, while we are fighting for transparency, we should remember that we should laugh and we should be happy. And the clips that you guys are making regarding how the feds think that we speak after that ridiculous made-up text chain between Tyler Robinson and his lover, Lance, they're hilarious. Your TikToks and the videos are hilarious. I'm going to show you just one here. This is Chris Olsen, at Chris Olsen. He's actually over on Instagram. Take a listen.
Good day, my love. I have just committed one of the highest sins of the Lord, murder. I must flee the country now, in my vehicle. I have hidden the weapon. It was mine. I won't see you for a very long time, unless you come with me. If not, I will see you after the war, my love.
Why is that so accurate?
I bet you would do.
What went wrong, FBI? What went wrong? Speak to us. Let us help you. You guys just old? Like, what's going on? I actually think there was a person on TikTok. I hate to not credit them, but I genuinely don't remember what handle it was. I was just scrolling through. But he suggested that what went wrong was that they did use AI. And in their AI prompt, they said to create a conversation between 20-year-olds, or like a conversation between 20-year-olds, but they actually wrote like the AI understood it as like, not people keep investigating every single lead until I solve his murder. What are you doing? What are you doing? Get some of your comments. I want to respond to some of you guys that were emailing us about the Dairy Queen photo. We were like, oh, this is an old photo. It could have been from July. There's a poster, Superman. I'll explain to you why that picture is definitely not taken in July. First, I want to tell you guys about Pure Talk, because our society works because of the freedoms guaranteed by the First Amendment. Free speech, okay? Even if I hate your speech, I want you to have it. Everyday Americans should be able to speak openly, and they should be able to speak honestly about family, their traditional values, without any retribution, obviously. And that's the principle that Pure Talk proudly supports. They sponsor my show, which allows me to stand strong behind the microphone every day and share truth with you guys. If you want to support brands that defend freedom and pro-American values, I encourage you to switch your wireless service to Pure Talk.
Fuck you.
All right, let's get into some of your comments. First, I want to tell you guys the Dairy Queen photo. Some of you guys noticed that there was this old Superman poster, and that Superman in the background there, that poster, you said they removed those ads back in June or July. You are correct. That's when that movie came out, and that's when they were scheduled to remove those ads. But rest assured, first and foremost, for two reasons, that is not, definitely is not footage from.
Doesn't he just look like a lefty? I mean, look how weak and feeble and gay looking his face looks. Telltale sign right there.
July, just so you guys understand, there is not a place in the world that would have the bandwidth to keep 24-hour footage inside of their restaurant dating back months. It auto-deletes, I think, the footage at my house, because we have cameras absolutely everywhere. I think it's like every 48 hours, every 72 hours. I think the highest you might see that is 1 week. This is absolutely, by the way, how would that person have known to go back to July? Could you imagine having to scroll the footage and be like, I think I one time saw that person in July eating something here. Let's go back and scrub. Like that definitely did not happen. The source we had was very solid. It was very specific. And also saying that they threw away clothes in the nearby cemetery was very specific. This person was very confident when they shared.
All right, I've had enough. Please like, comment, subscribe. Give me to 200 subscribers. I know I'm not like a cool guy. Well, I am a cool guy. Super cool. But I'm not like a super cute, sexy guy. It's not fun to look at my face as much. I do think I'm above average of attraction, but I'm not pretty as hell like a lot of these people that stand in front of a camera for their living. But just support small creators, man. So please support small creators. I am a personal trainer. I do fitness stuff, but I like this stuff more because it's just the truth. As a Christian, I'm all about the truth. And I hate to say it. This is more important. Being in shape is important. It's important for everyone, but this is even more important. So, once again, a like, comment, subscribe, even comment, shit talk me. I don't even care. Just build my itty bitty channel, please. I love you all, even if you hate me. Bye bye now.